What is up, people? It is MewMonster58. Welcome back to another video review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Combaticon Vortex, the first of our 5 Combaticons to complete the almighty Bruticus, created obviously by Starscream in his like 80,000th time that he stepped away and betrayed Megatron, and then Megatron kicked his teeth in later. But regardless, I'm really excited to get Bruticus. I know a lot of people are too. It's about damn time since the Combiner Wars. But the thing I'll mention here that I think is a bit crazy is the fact that we're getting 3 Combiners in 1 year. We're getting Superion, obviously a new Devastator, and we're getting Bruticus. I think the major of the last the combiners that we need that aren't the pre-86 movie would be Defensor, right? I think that's the only other major combiner. Obviously, there's like the Technobots and Predaking and everything like that, but I think that's post-86 movie, right? And so, take a look at the box here for Vortex. You can see the very nice Transformers logo here. You can see the Age of the Primes with the Combaticon Vortex right there. You can also see the very nice artwork here of Vortex, both in his helicopter mode as well as in his robot mode. You can obviously see that 1 of 5 here. We already have Blast Off, Swindle, and Brawl. I think all of them have been revealed, except that Onslaught has his line art more or less, like the 3D model that they showed off in the Hasbro Pulse live stream. So I think he's the only one we haven't seen like a physical like photo of the figure yet. But I'm not gonna be shocked if it looks really good. You can see some more nice artwork here of Bruticus. Obviously, it looks really good. Again, really excited to get myself a Bruticus, and I'm sure everyone else is too. More nice artwork here of the other primes, and then you have your very nice obligatory product shots. Combaticon Vortex transforms in 19 steps. But yeah, as per usual with Hasbro, I think they kill it with the packaging, and so without further ado, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Combaticon Vortex out of the box and in his helicopter mode. And I gotta say, I really do like his helicopter mode. There's only like a couple of things I'd say about it that I'm not the biggest fan of, and we'll get into those in a second. But take a look at the helicopter mode. It is really solid for a deluxe helicopter, especially when you're thinking, because I'm thinking about like I have the was it the Infernac Universe, I forget, Shard, right? The green one. That was also a really good deluxe class helicopter. And over here, this is the same thing. The only issue I have is I kind of find how this part looks weird. Now, this is his head, and then you have landing gear there, which I find a bit funky. But I don't know. I feel like this section where his head is just looks a bit weird, because if you take this out, it just kind of looks even weirder now, but overall it's not too bad. And the other thing I'll say I'm not the biggest fan of when it comes to his helicopter mode is how his weapons store. Now, his weapons store fine, it's just in my opinion they kind of store a bit loose. So you can see they store here as well as here, and when it comes to these weapons, they peg on using these these pegs right here, right? You can see those pegs right there, and then they peg into each of these on either side, and then here they just peg into, this one pegs into one here. Now, this is the most secure one by far, but the ones here on the sides, I'm not the biggest fan of how these peg in, because you can see just moving it a little bit, it's already really loose, and I've had plenty of times where I set this down and I pick it up and then the weapons are just on my desk or something like that when I've been messing around with it. But taking a look at the guns here, you can see this looks pretty good. I do like how it looks. Very nice black molded plastic, like no extra paint, but it does look pretty nice. Like, I have nothing to complain about there. And obviously you have the little slot right, you can see that little slot right there, and then you have that peg on the side. So you can peg this on either side by like pegging it on this side. And then for these guns, they're basically the same. The only major difference is which side the peg is on. So this one has the peg on this side, the other one obviously has the peg on the other side. So taking a look at them, they do look pretty nice like little sub guns that he has. Again, nice molded detail, but nothing too crazy, just very simple but very cool. Now, nice thing too is the rotor for the helicopter. That rotor for the helicopter, it spins really well. Yeah, there you go. You can see it spins really well. And in addition to that, it's on a 5mm peg, so if you just want to remove it, you can, and that's really cool. Now, you can also do this, and you can also use this as like a weapon if you wish to do so. Like, you can put it in his hand, and then he can hold it like this. We'll show that obviously in a second, but overall, when it comes to the accessories and the vehicle mode and everything like that, I honestly think it's a really solid one. Again, my only issues really are just the way that the weapons store, in addition to how the back part looks. But overall, you can see the nice detail here. The window looks good. The blue is very accurate. You can see the nice outline for the windows as well. All the detail looks good. You can see some nice molded in like fake wheels there, like faux wheels. Looks pretty clean from the bottom. And the rotor here on the back also spins really well. So overall, Like I said, the only major issues I have are this back part as well as how the weapons store, because they kind of tend to be a bit loose sometimes if you don't peg them in like very firmly. So overall, when it comes to Vortex's helicopter mode, I have no major complaints with it. I think it's pretty solid. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do our size comparison. So we are going to set Vortex off to the side here. Here he is with the Transformers Legacy United, a Deluxe class Infernac Universe of Agnes. As you can see, pretty standard Deluxe size. Sure, Vortex is a bit thinner, but overall, when it comes to the sizing, there's nothing really to complain about. He's an average Deluxe size in his vehicle mode, just as much as he is, as you'll see, in his robot mode. One comparison we're bringing in is because the engineering has some similarities to it. Here he is with the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Aerial Bot Slingshot. As you can see, these two also look really good together, and when it comes to their sizing, again, Slingshot's obviously going to be wider because he is a, he's a plane, and obviously the helicopters don't have wings like a plane does. But overall, when it comes to the sizing, again, average Deluxe size. Nothing to complain about here. These two look really good together. And because I said umpteen reviews ago that I was going to end up using this guy for more de facto and default comparisons, and I keep forgetting to, here he is with the Transformers Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. These two look really solid together. Obviously, this isn't going to be the definitive Optimus Prime anymore nowadays, but because it's still a really good figure, I'm going to be using it. Again, I'm going to try and remember to use it for comparisons in size, both robot mode as well as vehicle mode. But overall, can't really complain about the size here. Alrighty, folks, and it's time to get into the transformation. And one quick comment I forgot to make but when I was in the vehicle mode, is this is definitely going to be more than likely an Alpha Bravo remold and retool for this guy. It's just too perfect, especially when you look at the vehicle mode. I just want to throw that out there. But for the transformation, it's really not that hard. Very similar to the aerial bots. This guy doesn't really have a hard transformation at all. There is a couple maybe like annoying parts to it, and I might talk to you about those. But overall, I'm not really that mad about this transformation. It's pretty simple. So first thing we're going to do, obviously we're going to grab the guns, we're going to pull all of them off, and we're going to set them off to the side here. And then what we're going to do is we are going to come here to the what will become the legs, and then you're going to untab those. And then what I like to do is you can start to wiggle this, and then you can start to pull this out. And then what you'll do is accordion this down like Slingshot. You'll tab these into place, and then what you'll do is you'll tab these into place, and then you'll take the feet, you'll fold them out, the heels and the feet, and then you can split them, and there is the bottom half of Vortex already transformed. Now the top half, very simple. So we are going to bring the camera up so you guys can see this. For the top here, what you're going to do is you're going to sort of untab them right now. What I like to do is that'll sort of rotate itself around as you untab it. Then I like to untab them and rotate them out like so. I'm actually going to bring the camera back down a little bit just so we can see. Yeah, that's better. Then what we'll do is you're going to push them all the way down, then rotate the arms around, do the same thing on this side. You're going to push this all the way down, rotate the arm around like so. And then from here, what we're going to do is we are going to take the part of the face, and then you're going to fold this down into this section here. And what I like to do is you can rotate this section around like so. I like to keep it like, well, you can keep it either or. I personally like keeping it like this. I think that's personal preference more or less. Then you can fold the landing gear, turn the head around, and then what I like to do is you take this. The way that you can break these helicopter parts off of him is you just break them apart and then just pull them out like this, and then you can have the arm like this, and then you can fold these down for more cartoon accuracy like this, and then bend the arms like so. Same thing here, you sort of bend it, and then you can sort of pull this, you get more clearance to pull it, and then you can rotate this down, and then you'll straighten him all out. Well, in all reality, well, depends. I mean, I'm thinking about it. It's just day by day. I do like how this looks a bit better because I don't know, I don't like it necessarily with that scoop in the back. Just gives him a more clean look like that, and then you can sort of rotate these to make sure that they are accurate to how they were in the show, like that or so. Alrighty, and ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Combaticon Vortex in his robot mode. And so guys, when it comes to his robot mode, I honestly think that this guy is pretty solid. There's only one major issue I have with this robot mode, and it's the arms. I'm going to get that out of the way. The arms, I don't know, I wish they would have found a way to maybe help fold those a bit better, because at the end of the day, the iconic look for Vortex, especially when you look at the line art, which speaking of the art and how he appeared in the cartoon, we'll put that right here, right now. You can see that these canister bits, they're meant to be, the turbines, actually they're turbines, they're meant to be folded down, and because of how the arms are designed with the helicopter bits still attached to them, you can't quite get it without it getting in the way. Like, you can't like straight his arm out, and then yeah, you can see it just moves. So you see what I'm saying? Like, if they were to just have found a way to more compress the helicopter like tail part of it, it would have been a lot better. Now it doesn't make it an end all be all. This doesn't mean that the figure's terrible by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying that out of all the things, that's the worst part about this robot mode. It's definitely that part. But overall, when it comes to the actual looks department, overall still it looks really really good. So you can see the very iconic face. That looks awesome. Like that is so cool. Like, look at that. It's Vortex. So cool. The big red visor, the silver for the face mask. You can see the darker gray for the rest of the face, and then the blue landing gear on the back. Coming down here to the chest. It looks really solid. You can see the blue there. Looks really good. The Decepticon logos, the Decepticon logo right here. You can obviously see going down to the crotch piece. Looks pretty solid. Just really, really good all around. And he cleans up really well. Obviously, he has his helicopter rotor on the back, but at the end of the day, I mean, like, it's iconic to his look, and it's not super obtrusive or anything like that. And sure, he does look a little bow-legged, but you can straighten him out perfectly fine. Has no issues with that. So overall, when it comes to his robot mode, I have no major issues besides the arm bits because of how they are more or less integrated into his robot mode. I wish they would have found a way to fold them so that you don't have to fold these to, like compromise them, because again, if you look at the clearance, imagine if his arm, if this wasn't on his arm, you can see the clearance is perfect, but for some reason, because they couldn't, or they decided not to keep these helicopter bits attached to his arms, it does make his looks department and posing a bit compromised, especially when it comes to, you're compromising the looks to pose him because he can't pose his arms the best without ruining how the turbines look. So real quick, what we're going to do also is we're going to show the integration of the accessories in this robot mode. So very simply, you can obviously peg those into his hands, these guns here. So, but the nice thing is what you can see right here is you can see that there are pegs in here. So what I like to do is on one hand, I like to put one gun, and you have to push them in to get them in tight like that. That was awesome. I love how I say you have to push them in to get them in tight, and then it falls out. Classic. Push them in like that, and then I like to take the other small gun and then peg it into his hand like so. And you have to push. The thing about these accessories, you have to push on them a bit so that you can do that. Also, one thing, I'm sorry, I forgot this in the helicopter mode. When you fold this, you should rotate this bit as well. So again, just get it out of the way however you feel is appropriate. Then we'll just peg the gun on the other side as well, like that. And now Vortex has his guns, and they look pretty solid with him, and yeah, like, it looks pretty good. It's not crazy, right? It's just sort of the classic guns that you get with a Transformer, but overall, I'm still happy with it. I have no major complaints with it, and so I think it looks pretty solid. Alrighty guys, I'm recording this after I've recorded the articulation section because I'm stupid, because I was like, what am I forgetting? But we're going to be doing our size comparisons here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy and we are going to set him off to the side here. I'm also going to raise the camera just a little bit because I know Optimus is going to be a little bit taller. We might zoom out as well. We'll do it like that, and then we will do our size comparisons. Alrighty folks, here he is with the Transformers Legacy United and Vernac Universe Deluxe Class Magnus. As you can see, average deluxe size. Like, nothing crazy here. It is very simply just an average deluxe with Vortex here. Here he is with the Transformers Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. As you can see, obviously this is a pretty solid size overall. Obviously Optimus is much bigger than Vortex, and he should be, given the fact that he is a Voyager at a Leader Class size. I mean, a Voyager at a Leader Class price point. In addition to that, Vortex is obviously a deluxe figure. So when it comes to the sizing here, I have no complaints with this. And finally, guys, here he is with the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Slingshot. As you can see, these two have very similar chests because obviously they share engineering, and their legs are very similar. Obviously, Vortex just doesn't have the wings attached to it, and different feet, obviously. But for the most part, the legs are engineered exactly the same. But they don't share any other engineering beyond that. The whole upper part of Vortex, like besides maybe the chest with a few modifications, is definitely different. I mean, you can even see the molded-in differences in the middle of the chest, but definitely sort of these, the grooves here are the same on both of them. The way that the legs are pretty much engineered is pretty much exactly the same. Even when you look at the internals of both of their legs, they're pretty much the same when you're looking at like those hollow bits there. But overall, I know that people will say, oh, they're ripping engineering, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And plus, it resulted in a pretty good Vortex figure, so I'm not complaining too much about that. Alrighty, folks, and it's time to get into the articulation. The articulation is pretty solid. I mean, it's nothing special, nothing crazy, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination either. So heads on the ball joints, you can go up and down. You can do a full 360, not too much down, not too much up, but enough. You can do a full 360 here. You do have to move the rotors to get the full 360 because obviously they get in the way. You can go out, you can go in. You have a rotation in the upper part of the bicep, and then you have 90 at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist though. And then obviously these will also rotate if you wish. You can even use these as like shoulder cannons, which I find pretty cool, so that's neat. You do have full waist, which is really, really nice. Obviously, should be standard on pretty much every Deluxe these days. You can kick forward, you can kick back, you have a rotation of the upper part of the thigh, you have about 90 at the knee, and then you have some solid ankle rocker pivots. Overall, when it comes to the posing, this guy, again, doesn't do anything crazy, but it is exactly, in my opinion, the bog standard articulation that any Deluxe class should have. It's just a bit inhibited by some of the kibble that he has, but overall, I'm not too mad about it at all. Alrighty, folks, and it's time to get into the reverse transformation. Now, the one thing I'd like to address, and I know I've probably put the text on screen already because I've mentally told myself I need to do that. Yes, the official instructions show that the back of the helicopter, it should be rotated up, but I just kind of like how it looks on the side because I think it gives him the more iconic the more iconic as the cartoon look? Jesus, I couldn't think of there. But I just think that given that, that's what I think. I don't know. I just think it's cleaner so that you don't see that little space behind his head. Overall, that's just how I feel. Obviously, you can do the correct way. And again, I could probably put that at the beginning of the video, but just wanted to address that right now. But the reverse transformation is probably just as simple as the transformation going to robot mode. So first things first, obviously, we're going to remove all of the guns from him. Then we're just going to take the arms real quick, and then we're just going to compress everything, and then we're going to rotate these turbines up. Then what we'll do here for the head is we'll rotate this all the way around, fold the landing gear out, then take that face shield, fold that, and then fold that down like so. And then from here, we're going to keep the rotors like this. Also, this is another reason, just makes this easier to transform. We're going to take this, and we are going to rotate this around, and then we are going to rotate these around, and what you'll see is that you see these three little grooves on the side. This part will go underneath that, and then what you'll see is that essentially these little bits right here on either side of that circle right there will slide into some of those, but we'll just do that, and you can see where I'm getting at here. So just do that. Do the same thing here. Now, before you do this, the right arm, what you're going to want to do is fold this part out. And what you're going to want to do is sort of keep this rotated, and then we'll rotate this around later. Then what you're going to do is we're going to rotate this around, up like so. We'll peg these together, and then you can rotate this down like so. Then from here, legs are very simple. So we've done the legs already. So what we'll do here is all you have to do is peg the legs together, fold these bits together, then straighten this out, unpeg the bottoms, then accordion this in like so. And then obviously what you'll do is you can see there are a couple of tabs on either side of the vehicle mode, and then you'll just come on, yeah, snap those into place, fold these up. Then to complete the look, all you got to do is what I like to do, you just take these, peg these on the side like so, and peg this here like that, and peg this like so. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Vortex back in his helicopter mode. And so guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Combaticon Vortex, this guy's pretty solid. Not without its issues though. First thing, vehicle mode. I'm not the biggest fan of how the back looks, like that. I already showed you that section at the beginning. In addition to that, I'm also not a big fan of how the weapons store in terms of how securely they store. They don't store very well. At the end of the day, when it comes to Transformers vehicle mode storage, I'm not expecting anything good or crazy because obviously a lot of it looks ridiculous, but at the very least I was hoping it would be secure, and here it's not really that secure at all. Also, the one thing I didn't mention at the beginning of the review, there's a little gap in the actual helicopter mode that I'm not the biggest fan of. You can see it right here when you remove this gun right there. That gap, I'm not the biggest fan of that gap as well, and that does make the helicopter mode not look as good, but overall I still think it's a solid helicopter mode. Do I think it's better than Shard? I'm not quite sure if it's better than Shard. I think it's probably on par with Shard, though. Maybe Shard's is a little bit better, but it is very accurate to how it is in the show. It's got the correct colors, some nice molded in detail, as well as some very nice paint across the board. In addition to that, when you transform him, very simple transformation, nothing too crazy. And then when you get him into his robot mode, the only major issue I have is his arms, and the fact that his legs are a bit hollow. But that's because it's Carrie's engineering from Slingshot as well. But overall, when it comes to his arms, it's just that his accurate look obviously has those turbines down on his shoulders, and because of how the fact that they didn't remove that kibble from the arms, it compromises his posing when it comes to those turbines, and that's really annoying. Overall, though, I still really do like how he looks visually in his robot mode. He's very accurate, and again, for that thing on the back, I apologize again for screwing that up, but I know in the official instructions it says to keep this top part of the helicopter straight. I just like it on its side a bit more because I don't like seeing quite that shield behind his head, like that little piece behind his head, so I think it just ends up with a cleaner look. So, if I'm going to give this a rating out of 10, I'm going to give this guy a 7. It's not, in my opinion, it's not 8 or above because it's not amazing, but it's not by far like just above average. I think it's a really solid, just a borderline good release, right? There's nothing terrible about it, there's nothing amazing about it, and I know I usually give figures like that 8, but here, because of the little issues I do have with it, we're knocking it down to a 7. And so I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so leave a link in the description of that. Also leave links to Hasbro Pulse as well as Amazon if you guys wish to use those retailers instead of Big Bad Toy Store. In addition to that, I will also say that this guy's more than likely hitting stores now, because I know in Canada he said, I know probably on the West Coast he said a bit as well, so definitely be on the lookout at your local retailers, such as your Walmarts, your Targets, and stuff like that. And I definitely wish you the best of luck and happy hunting for this figure if you decide to do it IRL. And so I think that's really it. And so thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video review. And I'll catch you on the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.